Welcome back to the Manor, Entropians. Julian McBain here, and we are about to do more migration. Okay. Getting our little ship and figure out where we're going to be hunting tonight. And this time, I'm going to be smart enough to check the levels before I land. Yeesh. I dropped in for more keys, open boxes for ammo. Got lots of pills in return. Got ammo, but lots of pills. I swear to God, if you open out enough strong boxes, you probably get Pablo Escobar to be jealous of you. Hey Kenrick, how's it going? I think we're going to have to go quite a distance because these are all 16s, which I can take, but I'd much prefer fight the 14s. Actually, you know what? Let's give these guys a shot. What the hell? And I got this skill gain for 100% for 10 hours pill. And I'm trying to decide whether I want to use it now or save it for... I'm going to save it for Halloween Mayhem. I'll do the 10% one for here. Hey, Jay. Let's see if the loot's a little better on the 16s than the 14s. Oh, so I'm going to mention this again when there's more people in the stream, but I did, in fact, finally finish Personal Finance for Gamers. I'm just putting some polish on it, and that will be out on my Patreon here within the next 10 days. Yeah, we know better than that, Jay. Nice try. If you were innocent of all crimes, an entire music section wouldn't hate you. Hey y'all, if you could do me a favor too and just drop a like for me, I'd appreciate that. So, I gotta tell you, it's been one hell of a week. Like, straight up. I've had rough weeks before, but every single day, 5 days running, did not have a day where there wasn't a major tech issue. Like, I spent most of Monday without a phone. Tuesday, our computers all went down for like half the day. No, sorry, Tuesday, it was phone problems again, except it was my headset, and we discovered my headset's broken to bits, which really sucks because I'm on the phone a lot. And when you're trying to type and you've got a handset instead of a headset, your neck starts to hurt after about 5 minutes. I'm starting to get really good at typing one-handed right now while I wait for a new headset to come in. Wednesday and Thursday, both days, we had total systems failures for half a day. And then today, it was about an hour. Yes, Personal Finance for Gamers is locked behind the only donation level of $5. And it'll be exclusive to my members for 1 year. After which I'll release it more to the public. I haven't decided on what forum to do that with. I might put it on Kindle, or I might set it up on Gumroad. But it is the summation of 8 years of learning personal finance the old-fashioned way. Ah, crap. That's okay. It's not like we're tracking progress. Most of this loot is from yesterday. No, we will cycle the ammo, though. Increase our chances at a global. Because I have been promising my Patreon patrons more content. I have not delivered as of yet because of a multitude of reasons, not the least of which is 2020. Because 2020 will now become the new description for anything that's close to a dumpster fire but worse. But that exclusivity does not necessarily have to be forever. So I'll put it up there. I'll let my members, which right now is limited to 1, have access to it. And then once that exclusivity period's over, I will have an alternative so that you have access to it. But it is 15,983 words. Yes, 2020 is in fact the new foobar. Straight up. I'm actually rather proud of this one. Like, my ebook, The Modern Entropian, which is also available to my patrons. I was kind of proud of that. I am really proud of this one. I think I managed to put down all of the important stuff, and I think it was fairly concise. Which is not easy when you're trying to write it in a way that provides all the information but is accessible to as many people as possible. You know, there's a balancing act to be had there, and I think I did a pretty decent job. And wherever things were, it was almost impossible to make them not technical. I tried to break down what it meant. And I tried to make it as interesting as possible, but I'm sorry, there are some things in personal finance it is impossible to make interesting. There is nothing on this earth that can make insurance interesting. I'm sorry. Important, but not fun. So what is a chest drill in Saber? Is it you take turns moving, or is it you have to hit certain pieces on a target board that looks like a chessboard? Oh, you know what I'm missing? I'm missing the leprechaun. Need to level him up to 7 so that when I go to Siren, I can still level him. I want to get all my pets up to level 10. But the leprechaun can only be spawned on other planets if he's level 7 or higher. Speaking of which, if I didn't repair... Okay, no, we're good. So yeah, it's been a busy week. It has definitely been a busy week. On the bright side, it's Friday. So a chest drill is where you have one footwork movement, a blade work movement, and an offhand movement. Each person takes a step, throws a shot in response. Okay, so it's basically like you each take turns. It actually sounds a lot like Olympic fencing in how now it's your turn, now it's my turn, now it's my turn, now it's your turn, now it's my turn, now it's your turn. You have right of way, for lack of a better allegory. And I'm sure that everyone in here who doesn't watch fencing is probably having their heads spin. Okay, that's fair. I know, we talk about swords a lot. I can't help it. Live by the sword, die by the sword. Both wonderful events, if you're ever out in the Midwest. The one event I want to eventually get to is actually not even an SCA event. It's a long sword event called Long Point, and I think it takes place in Virginia. And I'm aiming to make it there for 2024. I gotta get a hold of a longsword first, and I gotta read up on the rules there. That is something I miss in the age of the Rona. I miss competition. I miss fighting. I miss the challenge. Pretty soon, I'm gonna have to find a game that I can just, like, PvP all the friggin' time. Why can't they make, like, PvP Skyrim? I want a sword fight. Go out into Orthos equipped like this and just run around attacking players to see if they'll fight me back. A bit of a waste of money, though. Hey, Boomstick. Apparently my Google Assistant decided it needed to help me after saying, hey, Boomstick, okay. Boomstick, if it'll make you feel better, you can always attach a piece of dynamite to the end of the longsword. Then you'll literally have a boomstick. Actually, I totally can see you. So Dr. Boomstick, we do. I think everyone else in the chat right now, in fact, does medieval recreation. But part of that is using rubber band guns to simulate early firearms, like the wheel locks and the flintlocks and the blunderbusses. And you're someone I could totally see carrying around a freaking blunderbuss with a big bell-shaped end, and it just, like, there's, like, forks and shit stuffed down the barrel. I may or may not have a friend in the chat that's a privateer, who could use someone who's good with a blunderbuss. Or, as they say in Kentucky, I'm sure, a boomstick. You know, if they put a blunderbuss in Fallout, I would totally use one, just on principle. Those things were intense. They just, you put whatever you wanted to, and it's kind of like the, oh, what the hell was it in Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas? You literally threw junk at people. In fact, my old roommate, who ironically introduced me to my most recent ex-girlfriend, used to deliberately collect teddy bears for two reasons in all the Fallout games. He'd collect all the teddy bears in the Fallout games, and he'd either trade them for chems Or he'd stuff them into the junk thrower and shoot them at people. Funniest freaking thing I've ever seen in my life is just launching teddy bears at people. And it kills them. Because why not? It's a Fallout game. Junk jet, thank you. Yes, that's the one. For all of the weapons in the Fallout games, like, my favorite has always been the Gauss rifle because, you know, headshots at long distances. Although the Gauss rifle in Fallout 76 is kind of disappointing. I gotta do some modification to it and see if I can't make it work better. Work more like the ones in Fallout 3 or New Vegas. But the junk jet was just like, here, stuff it full of random shit and shoot it at people just because you can. Okay. Yes, now we stash our junk. Back in those days, junk did not drop when you died. Now, junk drops when you die. And you find them in interesting little paper bags or other curious bags. For me, it's a skull. There's actually a bag for when you die that drops, and it's a freaking headstone. I actually had a Fallout 3 character that was almost strictly melee. That's how I got over my odd fear of super mutants. I'm just like, well, I'm going to force myself to melee these guys. And come to find out, you can melee super mutants pretty effectively. They don't like being meleeed. Just bash them over the skull with a frickin' super sledge. Which, for those of you who are not familiar with the super sledge, is basically a rocket attached to a sledgehammer. You know, Boomstick, that would be awesome if the headstones said GG. They should make those customizable. You know, I don't remember the bumper sword. But I'm seriously contemplating, like, doing a playthrough of New Vegas. It's been a long time. And New Vegas is my favorite Fallout, God bless its divine soul. And I'm actually looking forward to, because there's a group that's doing an authorized mod. Like, Bethesda's tacitly endorsed it, I think. Kind of like the Fallout 3 one. Where they're using the Fallout 4 engine to rebuild both games. Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. And of the two, New Vegas is the one that I am more interested in because it's my favorite Fallout. I just hope they include all the DLC because my two favorite places are the Big Empty and Zion National Park. Which I would like to visit in real life, frankly, because of Fallout New Vegas. But I loved both those DLCs. And there's a couple DLCs I have yet to play. And I want to do like a 100% completion insofar as you can of Fallout New Vegas. Like a Let's Play. I just... the amount of time you'd have to put into that. And then because Fallout New Vegas does have a lot of issues with crashing, it would be one where I'd have to pick up some video editing software to fix that. I have not done so yet. Since abandoning my Borderlands Let's Plays to do basically a Fallout 76 Let's Play run-through. I have been contemplating, and I stopped doing Borderlands for a couple of reasons. One, it wasn't getting any attention anymore. But also, when you spend more than a year playing the exact same game, and it's not multiplayer, you got to take a break. You really do. You know, Fallout 76 is a game where you can literally make your own fun. You know, Entropia Universe is the same thing. You make your own fun in these games. And I can take a break from Entropia Universe and still produce content and not get stressed about it. And basically the same for Fallout 76, because they're MMOs. The same can't be said for single player games. There's no interaction. There's no ability to, like, troll people. You know, I can't run around to random camps and steal their shit. You can get a lot of good weapons in Zion, but with a number of Yogwai that tend to roll around there, I usually go later in the game. The place I go early in the game is the Big Empty. Like, as soon as I hit level 15, I'm off to the Big Empty. Because of the benefits the Big Empty provides. Really help you in the end game. And I mean, if you go to the Big Empty at level 15, you're in for a very frustrating couple of levels. It's like Dark Souls fucking level of combat there. No joke. But once you level through it, all of the benefits you get from all of the modifications they make to you, spoiler alert, are just invaluable later in the game. But I love the plot of Zion National Park, and I honestly think that in a post-apocalyptic future, the tribes of Zion are much more likely than things like the New California Republic, at least in the short term. I think the NCR was born, and I've played Fallout 1. I've contemplated doing a run of that too, but Fallout 1 is friggin' hard. Like, no joke, it's brutal. It is 1990s gameplay brutal. We're talking Ninja Gaiden level brutal. It is hard. And they don't give you any clues. It's just like, go explore, and by the way, you're on a time limit, or everyone fucking dies. Yeah, Big Empty is a science outpost. But it is a good game. Good plot. I haven't finished it yet. Someday I'll go back and do so. There's a certain irony where I'm in Entropia Universe talking about Fallout 76. Again. So who else do we have in the chat here? I know we got Kenrick, Kat, Jay, Boomstick, but I got 7 people watching. Who else is with us? And do me a favor and hit the like button, please. I think that's called the K9, isn't it? Like, literally called the K9 cannon. It's like the K9 or the K9 cannon or something like that. I don't like what you have to do to acquire that gun. For obvious reasons. Okay. We're doing pretty good today. I don't know if the 16s are doing me better or worse than the 14s, but they're not... I'm able to tank through them, so that's good at least. K9... Oh, yeah. Yeah, it does bark when you equip it. Funny as hell. It kind of reminds me of a weapon in Dark Cloud, which is an old PS2 game, which I really wish they'd port to PC, because I would play the shit out of that on live stream. That game is fun. Like, good old-fashioned fun. So what happens is someone literally collects everything in the world in these little balls. And you have to go release them all and rebuild the world. And there's a weapon in there used by one of the characters, because this character uses nothing but slingshots. Well, the name of this slingshot is Steve. And Steve has a little face on the slingshot, and the entire time you wield Steve, he's talking to you, and it's always like witty banter, and he's always talking about the mob he's aimed at. So like if you're fighting mimics, he'll have words for that. If he's fighting whatever, like anything, he always has some witty banter for whatever mob he's being shot at. I honestly believe there needs to be a game where one of the guns is similar to the K9000, but it's all one-liners from Chris Rock. Like, voiced by Chris Rock. All the one-liners come from Chris Rock. And I frankly think it needs to be a Fallout game. Because it would make sense, right? I mean, a Borderlands game, it would work. Actually, it would work really well under the circumstances. But could you just... any game of that nature, like the post-APOC, you know, everything is insane, so why the fuck not? And here's Chris Rock's voice doing one-liners as you shoot people. It's a good sign when we have more likes than we do people watching. So thank you everyone for hitting that thumbs up. Have we gone too far? I wonder if we're going to run into Old Fred. For those of you wondering, Old Fred is a longtooth, which is what we're hunting. But he's level 530. And he just randomly appears. And the last time I saw him, I actually saw two of him within like 10 meters of each other on one of these ridges. And this was yesterday? I think it was yesterday. And the only thought I could have when I ran into Old Fred for the first time was, I wish I could kite in this game. That's the one downside to Entropia Universe. It is almost impossible to kite a mob. Just the way they set it up, it is not conducive to kiting. Like good old-fashioned, grab the mob, run away, turn, shoot, run away, turn, shoot, run away kiting. I can hear my son in the other room, and I can't tell what he's doing. I think he's racking the slide on one of his toy shotguns, but I can't be sure as to why he needs to rack it that many times. So how's everyone doing tonight? I've got 8 people in chat. Let me see 8 responses. Hey, JB. No, I do not use a P20 extender. I don't use any extenders right at the moment. It is something I'm starting to look into, but the tiering on these isn't... It's too random to make it really worth it, per se. I do use the Melee Trauma Amplifier 4, which increases both its damage output, its consumption of ammo, and its efficiency quite a bit. But I have not gotten into extenders. You really don't get into extenders until you get into higher level weapons. Like if I were using my Katsuichi, which is a level 100 weapon, then I'd look at putting an extender on it. Because it doesn't use ammo, it's a straight up melee damage weapon. I drop my amplifier on it and put an extender on it, and that would definitely reduce the amount of total ped burn I put on it. It would increase the efficiency pretty effectively. But with the R Matrix weapons, I don't see the benefit to using extenders at this point, considering the expense of extenders versus the amount of benefit they give you from what I understand they do. Thank you. I will say this, the biggest benefits of being a melee player are your weight capacity. As you can see, I can carry 361 kilograms. And health. I have 156 hit points. My profession level is only 44. Of my highest profession level is 44. I'm going to tell you, JB, I'm a swordsman in real life, so I always default to long blades. Short blades, you'll get higher damage level over hit level. Long blade is hit level over damage level. You really want to balance the two, so I do like one full sword, one full knife. One full sword, one full knife. If I had to go back and do it again, I'd probably do it that way. Yeah, my total profession level would be lower in respect to absolute profession level, but averaged out, I think it would actually work better. And I am working on my knives when, you know, things like migration or mayhems aren't happening. Don't use UL. Do not use UL. Stick with limited. Do the R Matrix series. Get the ammo burners. I swore off ammo burners for a long time. It really held me back. The Katsuichi weapons are all designed for level 100. Even though they've got a lower damage output, their efficiency is designed for level 100. So you really want to use the R Matrix series. Buy the ammo. It's a hell of a lot cheaper overall. Trust me on this. I learned the hard way. And whatever you do, do not buy those 14.1% efficiency weapons you find on the friggin' auction house. Check your swords before you buy them. Jay, they don't have sabers and arming swords in this game, so please keep it relevant to that if you're going to be giving advice. And sorry, not sorry, rapiers are superior to sabers. Change my mind. No problem, JB. I live, eat, sleep, and breathe melee. Both in-game and in real life. No, seriously, you can ask the other people in chat. I fought everyone except for Jay. JB, where are you at? Mowing the lawn. Like, it's 21:35 where I am. Where are you at where it's time to mow the lawn? Because I totally get it. Happy wife, happy life. Even though I've been divorced for, 10 years. So, Jay, I will make sure to be the one to make you die on that hill. If we want to talk two-handed weapons, katana is... I would take katana over standard longsword. But only by a small amount, and I have seen rapier beat katana. Like, watched it physically. Happy spouse, happy house works too. It absolutely works. At this point in my life, I have neither. Shout out to Lance Harlan Urban of Third Circle of the Entropian Empire. Because I randomly happened upon you, dude. Oh, hi. I do have to say, I really miss hitting people with swords. I currently have a dowel in my office that while I'm doing dials when I have a headset, while I'm waiting for the phone to finish ringing, because 99 times out of 100, I'm leaving messages all the time, because that's my life. I'm poking my credenza. German longsword is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, I do enjoy me some German longsword. I actually prefer English style just a touch better, but there's really no significant difference between the two. I mean, longsword is longsword, a katana is a longsword, and if you look at the body movements, they're almost identical. It's just minor positioning differences. There's only so many ways that the body moves. But I've done kendo. Like, we actually, so for those of you who are anime fans, Rurouni Kenshin, you got the Kamiya Kishin style. Two friends and I actually broke down the Kamiya Kishin style and figured out all of the movements to the style. This was like, shit, 20 years ago? Am I really that old? I am that old. I was 16 when we figured out all of the movements and we started practicing them. And I'm 36. That was 20 fucking years ago. Son of a bitch. Hi, Jane. Welcome to the manor. Thank you for joining us. I want to thank everyone who has, in fact, smashed the like button. Thank you so much. We're 10 for 10, and I really appreciate it. Whoops. Nope. There we go. Gotta find a long tooth that's not being shot at already. Yeah, I've heard of Fiore, but I haven't really looked into Fiore. I will have to take a look at that. Oh, Jesus, boomstick. Oh, God, that poor kid. Tell me you still have a VCR. Please tell me you still have a VCR. God, I can't remember the last time I watched RoboCop. I do remember watching The Terminator the first time it came out on network television. My father let me watch it. My mother found out. She was so pissed. I think I was like 7. Of course, she didn't find out until I was an adult that my cousins were having me watch things like, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. Jay, by Wrathguard, are you talking Warhammer 40k? And so now I'm going to blow all of your minds. I am old enough to have ruined a VHS with Short Circuit on it. Because I watched it that many times. What do you mean you wish you were? Like, I've been out of the 40k world for several years, mostly because they kept requiring you to buy more models that I couldn't fucking afford. That I wish I could because they were gorgeous. Like, I was a Chaos player. I had 2 Land Raiders. That's a third of your army right there. And I couldn't afford models to make myself competitive. Yeah, y'all can judge if you want. Apollo 13 was really good. I would have to say that's probably one of Tom Hanks' best movies. And Tom Hanks doesn't make a bad movie. Like, I've never heard of a bad Tom Hanks movie. I put that probably in his top 3 best movies ever. Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I saw Wrath. I thought Wraith. And instantly went to 40k mode because 40k. Oh, see, Jane, we tended to tape shit off of TV. We'd buy like the Memorex 6-hour tapes and just tape movies. So we had a whole library of VHS taped off of TV. VHS tapes, 3 movies on a tape. And we actually had a catalog so we could, and they were all numbered so we could look up the tape we wanted. That's how many we had. We had like 100 of them. We're like, okay, which freaking tape is this movie on? Because you could buy the Memorex tapes for dirt cheap. They're like, what, 10 for 20, I think? Okay, Jay. I'm about to blow your mind. I am. Are you ready for this? The first time I saw Star Wars, it was on Laserdisc. And I'm not talking CD, we're talking LD. The big ass golden vinyl sized laser discs. That's also how I watched Popeye. Oh god, Spaceballs is probably one of the best. Spaceballs is in my top 10 movies of all fucking time. You put that next to Blazing Saddles. I swear to God, the 80s and early 90s were the golden age of movies. They really were. I mean, of all the more modern movies, the only ones I really liked were Independence Day, the first Transformers movie. Can't think of a whole lot else. Oh, all the Star Trek movies. All of them. Even the even-numbered ones. I don't care. Or the odd-numbered ones. The odd-numbered ones are the ones that are always the redheaded stepchildren. I don't care. All the Star Trek movies and anything pretty much pre-2000. Yeah, Laserdisc was awesome, but good luck finding the damn things in America. Like, apparently they were really big in Japan, but not here. But my uncle had a Laserdisc player and 3 or 4 Laserdisc movies, one of which was, like, rated R, so I wasn't allowed to watch it because I was too young, but he had Popeye, he had Star Wars. I'm trying to think of what else he had. Like, we did a whole Star Wars trilogy night. It was a long-ass night. I think I fell asleep somewhere in the middle of The Empire Strikes Back, but he had a projection television, which he was actually, like, he did not have money. He traded a bunch of shit to get that projection television. Yes, So, Kenrick, this is going to blow your mind, but Star Trek V was actually my favorite Star Trek for a long time. And then Star Trek 6 came out. I actually watched Star Trek 6 in the theater when it first came out. My dad took me to it. And then that became my favorite Star Trek. But the reason I think I like Star Trek 5 so much is because I watched this so much I could quote every line in the movie, and my parents did not yell at me for saying the word damn. Don't judge me, I was 14. Come on, man. If 5 wasn't that bad, you got to admit, when Kirk said emergency landing plan B, B as in barricade, you gotta chuckle at that shit. It's like, we're just gonna hit the engines at full throttle and hope to God the nets catch us. That and rocket boots, okay? You can't beat rocket boots. Hey, it's a valid question. God did not need a starship. However, the idea that a Vulcan managed to outwit Claw really kind of tickled me, especially when he killed the god. Quote unquote. Spoiler alert. Oh, Jay, you're hurting me, man. You're hurting me. You're hurting me for two reasons. One, Star Trek, capital S, capital T. And it's 2 words. Second, even if you don't watch the original series, which I actually watched after I first watched Next Generation, and I've got my issues with TOS, the number of references to geek culture that are from Star Trek, Kenrick, Cat, that's it. We're gonna have to do a viewing. The 4 big series, in order. We're gonna have to. We'll chain them to a goddamn wall because we can't do it in one night. I know. We'll get Marguerite to make this another quest. That's not her freaking name. What's the queen's name? I can't remember anymore. Margarita de Siena. We'll get Margarita, excuse me, Your Majesty, I apologize. We'll get Margarita to make this another quest. Because we totally could. How can you not... Oy. You know what? I'll let this one go. I will. I will. Even though Star Trek Picard... and here's the funny thing. Like, Star Trek Picard might be the best Star Trek ever. And that takes a lot. Like, a lot. And I'm someone who rewatches Star Trek all the fucking time. Specific episodes, but all the time. I was rewatching it last night. I still have to watch Discovery. I know that's a hole in my repertoire. But I do have CBS All Access, so I think I'm going to have to start that this weekend. I was a little put out when they changed the way the Klingons looked, and I'm like, you know what? Actually, after looking at the way they redesigned them, I can accept this. Klingons, if you can't guess, are one of my two favorite races in Star Trek. The other being the Ferengi, because one, they're 100% dynamically opposed to the way the Klingons think, and two, because between the Klingons and the Ferengi, you can really figure out my total brain science. Although there's only like one or two pieces of Ferengi culture I like. If you take Klingon culture, extract it, and then put in all of the business theory of the Ferengi and shove it into Klingon culture, you pretty much have me. And Jay, I really don't need to know about how much you'd enjoy being chained to a wall. Thank God I'm not monetized. Okay, once this long tooth is down, we're gonna take a $5. I gotta pretend to be... Not pretend. Wow. Way to go, Julian. I gotta be dad for a minute. And then I'll be back. Okay. That mob's down. We're gonna kind of extract ourselves from where the herd mostly is. Okay. Taking a $5. Be right back. Okay, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. No, I would find a mob where you're getting better returns. You should be getting about 97% on average. 90% on the outside. You're only getting 60% return. You're hunting at a way too high a level. Pay close attention to your looter skills or professions. Those are really what make it so you get the better loot. But yeah, no, you should be getting about 90% returns on what you're taking down. With markup, you should be coming very close to even on most mobs. Some mobs, the ones that drop the really good stuff, or the ones that you're so high on the looter profession that the markup's really high. Like when I go out and hunt drones out in Orthos, the markup on those items is ridiculous, but the total TT value of any individual item is only like between 9 and 9 pek and 1 ped. So it doesn't take much to have a really high markup. But if you get enough of it, it doesn't matter that you're, it's like selling baseball cards, It doesn't matter that you're selling them for $5 a piece. The cost on them is $1. You're selling them for $5. You're still making $4. I have never run into a Tesla pod. What planet are you on, JB? And for those who are not Entropia Universe players, I mean that literally. We got 6 planets to work with. Oh, for those of you who are in the chat who did not know, my ebook, Personal Finance for Gamers, will be coming out within the next 10 days. It'll be available on my Patreon for all tiers. Well, the only tier. I also want to give a huge shout out to Red Kryptonite for being my only patron. I really appreciate all your support, and thank you so much for sticking with me. I also want to give a shout out to those of you who are in my stream consistently. Kenrick, Kat, Jay, Boomstick. I really appreciate all the support. I really do. It means a lot to me. Oh, you were just waiting for me to thank you, weren't you, Boomstick? No, that's cool, man. We all have a job to do. That's what we're here for. Go prank your mom again. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Don't do that. Don't tell her I said that. Be walking on the streets of Vermont and all of a sudden she'll be like, you tell my son? Wham! My coworkers will be like, what did you do? And said, I deserve that one. So for those of you who have not done so, I would highly recommend go check out Dr. Boomstick's channel, subscribe to him. And out of all his videos, y'all gotta check out the video where he pranked his mom. Funniest thing ever. Fair enough. You gotta watch the video, though. Oh, Boomstick, you are the wind beneath my wings. You know, I still think that tasteful trolling is just 21st century comedy. I do. You know, there's good trolling and there's bad trolling. Good trolling is one of two things, where it's all in good fun. Oftentimes it's your friends. You might be taking the piss out of something, or yourself. That's all good trolling. It's also when someone gets ratioed. If you're helping ratio someone, that's good trolling. Bad trolling is just when you're out there to be a dick. And there's a difference. There really is. Okay, JB, you're on Calypso. Since I have not run into the Tesla pods yet, I don't have good advice for you. What was your highest profession level again? I think you said you were 44 earlier. Yeah, 44 BLP. Probably stick to the 14 to 16 level range. I don't know what those the Tesla pods are. That would be my recommendation. I do melee, so it's going to be a touch different. I'd stick to this, you know, I'd err on the side of slightly lower. Melee weapons do more damage, so I take less decay because I take less decay to my armor because I kill them faster. But because I'm towing it, it balances out, and that's where the difference is. If you're running eco, stick to 14s. If you're running on the high side, don't go any higher than 16 or 17. That's my opinion on that. If you're going to swap to melee, stick to something that your melee level is appropriate for, and that'll help build your looter skills. Oh, Jesus. That is spread thin. Not even... Wow. I'm not even sure I consider that worth my time. What's your health at, JB? What's your hit points? Before any rings or augments. Okay, that's fair. I just wanted a comparison because I haven't had the opportunity to compare my hit points to anyone else as a melee player. So, yeah, so with Loot 2.0, the amount of loot you get out of the mob is directly proportional to the amount of TT value you need in order to hunt the mob. From what I understand, the total amount of money coming out of the mob is supposed to be roughly equal to what it goes into the mob. However, you're not going to get that all in loot. A good chunk of that's going to be an experience of various skills. The other thing you need to remember is anything used to repair anything in the repair terminal gets removed from the game. That goes to Mindark so they can pay their teams and pay their bills. It's very important so that we have a game to begin with. 10 to 16 is a good range to stick to. I wouldn't go any lower than 10, and you're probably overusing. You're probably overdoing it with 10. Scotty C93 is another YouTuber. He does some what he calls speed hunting, where he deliberately goes overgunned, and he actually does fairly well. The other thing you can do is take some time, take Buchan's spare rifle, and just go hunt some stupid low-level things for a long time, because that'll drive up your looter skills, and that'll make your average loot to kill ratio a lot better. So I check your looter professions, make sure your looter professions are, like, currently my looter professions are, is this the right one? Yeah. My animal looter's 26, my mutant's 20, and my robot's only 13. You really want it to be the higher the better. Like 26 is okay. I really wish it was closer to what my absolute skill was. But I started after Loot 2.0 came out, or right on the cusp of it, because it was December 2017 that I started the game. And so I don't remember if I was at the very end of Loot 1.0 or at the very beginning of Loot 2.0 that I started, but it was almost, you couldn't tell. So that's my recommendation there. Oh yeah, a blue Amblomax or Phefoids. Nautical Fantasy, yes. Yes, I do use ammo. I have an ammo burner sword. And if you're looking to understand why ammo would be burned using a sword, it's energy. Look at the way it glows. I'm basically carrying a metal lightsaber, a vibro axe, or vibro sword rather. That sounds kind of dirty, come to think of it, but it's a Star Wars weapon, so there you go. So yeah, that's where your trouble is. You need to get your looters up there. I would go hunt some low-level shit for a while. Go back to Icarus. Go hunt the, or if you don't like Icarus, go up to Half Moon Cove over here. Or Half Moon Bay, Half Moon Cove. Level 10, that's kind of a more difficult area. Oh, you know what? Curbs. Go to Boreas and hunt Curbs. I'm dead serious. Or head to Cyrene and hunt Panleon and, or go to Next Island and hunt Boar. Either of those should be in about the right area. Just anything you can kill with Buchan's spare rifle and just grind your looter skills. Grind it. Nautical, yes. It's essentially the same idea. But yeah, JB, at your level, your looter skills need to be in the high 20s. Or else you're losing money. So, back up a little bit, go back to the lower levels, and grind the looter skills up. Seriously. Hunt Berrycled. Hunt the level 3 Berrycled that are right here in this area. Over here. Or if you like hunting at a higher level, you can hunt the level 12s over at Club Royal. And just grind that sucker. It's below your level, but it's closer to your looter level, so your eco is going to be a lot better. Yeah, you really want those levels to be a lot closer. I found that my efficiency has gone up as I've ground out the levels on other weapons that bring like my damage levels up. Because when an event's not going on, I will do other things. Like I've ground out my rifle skills, I've ground out my knife fighter skills. I mean, here's my professions. 44 swordsman hit, 40 swordsman damage. Laser snipers 32. Ranged lasers 30. Knife fighter is 30. BLP snipers 27. Brawlers 27. I haven't even figured out how I got brawler. I haven't used friggin' power fist for shit at all. Gauss snipers high. I've never touched a Gauss rifle. My evader skill is 25. Or profession is 25. That actually surprises me. So, you know, Pyrokinetics 23. My mounted laser could be better. Because that's your spaceships. And I need to do like a space video at some point. Cryogenics currently my lowest. I really wanted my cryogenic to be a lot higher. Because, you know, I don't care what anyone says. Ice is greater than fire. I used to think fire was the end-all be-all. Then I lived in North Dakota. And let me tell you, when you're in a state or a location on Earth that has a temperature that's day to day, same day, the recorded temperature is lower than Mars. I shit you not. Our same day temperature at the same time was lower than Mars. You understand the damage that cold can do to a person. JB, until you hit level 100, our matrix is where it's at. I'm not even going to contend that one. Until you hit level 100, until you're a verified Uber, you need to be on those our matrix weapons. That's what it is. So, frankly, JB, you don't. The way I make up for the lack of, the loss on the R Matrix weapons is through deeds. I buy deeds and shares. As you can see, that's my income. It's not huge, but it is what it is. I know I'm still in the growth phase. I know I'm not going to get my money back until I hit level 100. It's just like real life, man. You gotta spend money to make money. Or you have to be wise about what you do to earn the skills to make that money. I have decided to put the money into this game. There's one other RCE that is still pending that I am putting money into. And I've done so because I believe in that game as well. In real life, you put money into your skills in order to extract those money from those skills after you have really learned those skills. That's what we call real life. And it sucks. But it is what it is. I appreciate that. I don't even think I'm in Cali chat. I'm not. Yeah, VV is amazing. I really like Virtueverse. I am really looking forward to EA4 later this year. Full disclosure, I am a backer. And so, of course, that means I'm putting my money behind it. And I also did an exclusive crafting video for them, which is available on my channel. Go look for it. They have a wonderful team, an outstanding team. Many of their team members, at least one of them, I guarantee is an EU player, because I found them in EU chat, in EU Discord. They are probably among the top 3 most engaged development teams I have ever seen when it comes to their player base. The 2 development teams that can give them a run for their money are Monria here in EU and Next Island here in EU. And I'm sorry, Cyrene, I haven't seen you in live chat anywhere. But if there was a top 5, it'd be Virtueverse, Monria, Next Island, Cyrene, and I don't know the 5th one. I don't know the exact order of engagement for those 4. But those 4 are definitely the top 4 most engaged development teams in gaming. Period. Dot. Full stop. And when EA4 happens this year or any of the backer tests, because I'm eligible for backer tests, then I will definitely be either live streaming or recording those for people to watch. Hey JB, I appreciate the subscription. I really do. We're going to be wrapping up here in the next 9 minutes or so. So please stick around. We'll be here for 9 more minutes. And I stream every Tuesday and Friday. And currently I'm streaming Entropia Universe pretty exclusively. I have not come up with a one-player game that has really been worth streaming more than what I had been. Like Subnautica got a lot of love. My time at Peoria did not get hardly any love, actually. But everyone loves Entropia Universe. And I hope you mowed your lawn for your wife. That reminds me. I actually have to do the changeover for my deeds today. Because it is the 31st of July. So maybe we'll do our transactions right here on a live stream. Especially since this sword is starting to die. Oh wow. Yeah, it's dying. Hardcore. I am disappointed, not one global. All night long. See if I can't land this beast right in the center of the circle. Yeah, close enough. Okay. This is what first person view looks like. We're in Skyrim. You know, this actually looks better than I really give it credit for. Of course, I really need to remember my own friggin' key layout. So, alright, for this month, because I collect my land deed stuff every month, I get $23.51 in land area income. And I get $15.93 in shares income, totaling, pull out my handy dandy calculator here, $39.84 PED in income. And there we go. For those of you playing the home game, that's $3.94 or 84 cents. I'm sorry, $3.98. Which means I should be able to buy 2. Oh wow. That's all there is? Really? I could buy Ancient Greece. Or I could buy Crystal Palace. Which is apparently not loading properly. So I'll buy 2 more Crystal Palace. I could have bought 4 of the Ancient Greece, but I'll stick to what I know. I actually have a goal for Crystal Palace before I start on anything else. So there we go. Alright, y'all. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe down below. Oh, what do we have here? Everyone loves the EU but hates MA, complains and whines. It is fun. I don't have water. I'm actually an entire floor away from water bubbling on my stove. What you're hearing is me drinking my whiskey. So, please like, share, and subscribe down below. We're on the ride to wow. Ha! We're on the road to 13 million subscribers, 1 subscription at a time, so make sure you subscribe. Also, please consider going to patreon.com/JulianMcBain if you want to support my work. You will get the Modern Entropian today, and sometime in the next week and a half or so, you'll get Personal Finance for Gamers ebooks for your edification. Alright, all. I really appreciate all the support, and we will see you in the next one.